My husband completely panics and apologizes every time I catch him playing his guitar. I always thought he was just shy, until I found a dusty box hidden in his mother's attic, and the truth made me physically sick. My husband is, without a doubt, the most gifted acoustic guitar player I have ever heard. He is entirely self-taught. He doesn't just play songs, he builds these complex, beautiful landscapes of sound. It is the kind of music that makes you want to close your eyes and just float away. But here is the thing. If I ever walk into the living room while he is playing, the exact second he notices me, he immediately slaps his hand flat over the strings. The music just dies. He will go pale, pull the guitar tightly into his chest, and say, "Oh, I am so sorry. Am I being too loud? I will put it away." He always calls his music putting up with the noise. He will actually thank me for putting up with his noise. I'll tell him, "Honey, no, it is beautiful. Please keep playing." But he just gives me this nervous, sad smile, zips the guitar into its case, and says, "No, it is fine. I do not want to be a bother." I never fully understood where this came from until last Thanksgiving. We drove back to his hometown in Ohio to see his family. They are a loud, boisterous, sports-obsessed, shouting at the television kind of crowd. My husband is the exact opposite. During halftime of the big game, his older brother pulled an old, dusty acoustic guitar out of the hall closet, shoved it into my husband's hands, and said, "Hey, play us a tune." For just a fraction of a second, I watched my husband light up. He leaned forward, tuned the strings, and started playing this incredibly gorgeous, joyful melody. But exactly 15 seconds later, his dad started yelling across the room about a bad call by the referee. Then, his mom walked directly in front of him, talking at the absolute top of her lungs on her cell phone. I watched my husband's shoulders just cave in on themselves. He stopped playing, rested his palm flat against the strings to kill the sound, and quietly put the guitar away. Nobody even noticed the music had stopped. When I rubbed his back and asked if he was okay, he just stared at the floor and whispered, "I am used to it. It is just noise anyway." That broke my heart, but I did not truly grasp the depth of it until yesterday. We were helping his mom clean out her attic. Over in a dark corner, shoved underneath 3 heavy boxes of his brother's old football trophies, I found a stack of cheap, faded, spiral-bound notebooks. His mom saw me holding them, rolled her eyes, and let out a loud laugh. "Oh God, his little songbooks," she said, waving her hand. He used to sit in the corner of the living room just plucking away at those annoying strings while we were trying to watch our shows. We were constantly telling him to pipe down. She said it like it was a fond, funny memory. She walked away, and I slowly opened the first notebook. The pages were filled with shaky 12-year-old handwriting, little chord charts, and lyrics. But it was not the music that made my chest tight. It was the notes he had written to himself, squeezed into the margins. At the very top of one page, he had written, "Happy song to play when Dad gets home." And at the bottom of that exact same page, pressed so hard in heavy, angry red pencil that it nearly tore the paper, he had written, "Too loud. Stop playing." My hand started to shake. I turned the page. A quiet song for Mom's birthday. At the bottom, in the same harsh red pencil, "Turn it down. Put it away." I frantically flipped through the notebook. Dozens of songs, and every single one of them ended the exact same way. "You are being a bother. Nobody wants to hear this. Just stop playing." He wasn't just writing music up in that lonely bedroom. He was trying to write a soundtrack for a family that completely refused to listen to him. And when they ignored him, he internalized it. He was teaching himself, page by painful page, that his art, his voice, and his passion were nothing more than a nuisance. I sat down hard on the dusty floorboards of that attic, clutching a 20-year-old notebook, and I just bawled. I cried for that lonely 12-year-old boy who just wanted to share something beautiful. And I cried for the 32-year-old man waiting for me in my kitchen right now. The man who still slaps his hand over the strings, the man who immediately apologizes for taking up space, completely terrified that the person he loves most in the world is going to tell him that he is just making noise.